That's her. So this is the 21st live, and we continue discovering the philosophy of objectivism. So now I'll be quoting from page 413. Okay. Men who have no courage. Oh, this is Francisco d'Anconia speaking. The richest man on earth. Okay, in the novel. Men who have no courage, pride, or self-esteem. Men who have no moral sense of their right to their money and are not willing to defend it as they defend their life. Men who apologize for being rich will not remain rich for long. They are the natural bait for the swarms of looters that stay under rocks for centuries, but come crawling out at the first smell of a man who begs to be forgiven for the guilt of owning wealth. They will hasten to relieve him of the guilt and of his life as he deserves. And this makes me think of all those Russian oligarchs that were robbed by Putin and his proxies. There was one famous Berezovsky, an oligarch, of course, and he was not that innocent of a fruit. He helped create Putin, and then he was devoured by Putin. And then there is Khodorkovsky, who is also in exile. He was opposing Putin. So yeah, the looters and the destroyers can live on the backs of people who own money, but if those people are not careful enough, are not smart and rational enough, they will be devoured by these parasites, moochers and looters. Okay. Next, Dangonia continues. Then you will see the rise of the men of the double standard. The men who live by force, yet count on those who live by trade to create the value of their looted money. The men who are the hitchhikers of virtue. And this is so true. Oh, thank you to that one person who gave me thumbs up on YouTube. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much. I encourage others to do the same. Thumbs up on YouTube and tap the screen on TikTok. Okay. Yeah, they loot, but they understand that business and creative people, people who create, are indispensable. This is why even corrupt oligarchies and bloody regimes, they all try to lure business people. They all create temporary advantages and privileges for new businesses that agree to enter that market and enrich the corrupt regime. It's always like that in all societies, because the destroyers and the parasites always need fresh blood. They need fresh victims that will make money, that will create big enterprises, and then when they think that they don't, when the parasites and the destroyers think that they don't need these people anymore, they just nationalize the property and the businesses of those people, or they give it to other oligarchs who serve their regimes better. Hi Cam, what book? This is Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. Have you heard of it? Have you read it? You are speaking wisdom. Thank you, Cam. Yes, this is Ayn Rand. She's a very smart, intelligent lady. She's from former USSR. She was born in Tsarist Russia. I knew it. Oh, well, high five to you. And thank you for the thumbs up, if it's you who gave me that thumbs up, okay? I appreciate that. Yeah. In a moral society, These are the criminals, and the statutes are written to protect you against them. But when a society establishes criminals by right and looters by law, men who use force to seize the wealth of disarmed victims, then money becomes its creator's avenger. So true. So sad, but so true. Unfortunately, this happens time and time and time again when rich people fall victim to all those destroyers. I love the term that Joanne Rowling came up with, Death Eaters. It's such a very precise, on point thing, you know? Although I disagree with some of her stance regarding trans people, etc., but I still respect her. I love the universe of Harry Potter, and that term, Death Eater, it's like such a powerful, precise term for destroyers and looters. And Ayn Rand's term, destroyer, is also a very good one, actually. Thank you to those two people on YouTube that gave me thumbs up. I encourage others to do the same, and TikTok, you can tap on the screen. Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged. Okay. Such looters believe it safe to rob defenseless men once they've passed a law to disarm them. But their loot becomes the magnet for other looters, who get it from them as they got it. Then the race goes, not to the ablest at production, but to those most ruthless at brutality. When force is the standard, the murderer wins over the pickpocket. And then that society vanishes in a spread of ruins and slaughter. This passage makes me think of Armenia, the Republic of Armenia. I'm from Armenia. I live in LA now, in the US, but I'm originally from there. I've spent most of my life there, probably 33 years of my life or a bit more in that country. So Armenia was part of the USSR, and then when it collapsed, Armenia got its independence. And at that time came the first wave of the moochers and looters, which formed their own government, and they seized a lot of property. They what's the term? Privatized all everything that was socialist, like everything that belonged to everyone, which meant that nothing belonged to nobody. But a lot of it was done through coercion, through force, and then something which Ayn Rand describes happened. In 1992, we had our first bloody government, and it was bloody literally. There was this conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan, a war, and that government was built on blood and coercion and suffering. And then in 1997, I think, the first president of Armenia was forced into, he actually feared, he was afraid also, so it was his decision. He decided to resign, and a worse president, Robert Kocharyan, came, and he seized the power. Actually, he didn't have the right to be elected a president, because he was from Nagorno-Karabakh, which was not part of the Republic of Armenia, which was part of Azerbaijan, which Armenians occupied for a few decades. So Robert Kocharyan was horrible, and his time of terror is remembered by everybody. It ended in 2008 in a bloodbath when at least 10 people were killed in the capital of Yerevan and hundreds were injured. So what Ayn Rand is describing actually happened to us, you know? Now the comments. Many people hate on her books, but she's right about a lot of things, and she knew dictatorship truly. Yes, Cam, if you speak of Ayn Rand, yes. If you speak of Joanne Rowling, that is also true. Like, she studied history, and her examples like Voldemort being very similar to the mustache guy, right? That's also accurate. The Eastern Bloc. Yeah, do you have two arms? Okay, Sun Caesar, I don't understand what your comment is about. Okay. Now, next quote comes from page 415. I think it's still Danconia speaking. Yes, yes. Signor Danconia, declared the woman with the earrings, I don't agree with you. If you can refute a single sentence I uttered, madam, I shall hear it gratefully. Oh, I can't answer you. I don't have any answers. My mind doesn't work that way, but I don't feel that you're right. So I know that you're wrong. How do you know it? I feel it. I don't go by my head, but by my heart. You might be good at logic, but you're heartless. Madame, when we'll see men dying of starvation around us, your heart won't be of any earthly use to save them. And I'm heartless enough to say that when you'll scream, but I didn't know it, you will not be forgiven. The woman turned away, a shudder running through the flesh of her cheeks and through her angry tremor of her voice. Well, it's certainly a funny way to talk at a party. So this passage, I chose to quote it because it's very representative of people who do not value reason and logic. They go by their whims, desires, fears, and so on. And the way she says, I don't know it, but I feel it. And I met people like this. So there was this pro-Palestinian lady at an international conference, and I gave her some facts, like I shared with her news piece from BBC, which said that a gay Palestinian was kidnapped from Israel and beheaded in the West Bank. So Palestinians, LGBT Palestinians, can live safely in Israel because Israel is a civilized country where they don't execute people for being LGBT or for being women who do not cover their heads, etc. And her reaction was, I don't believe this article is true. It is Western media, it is propaganda. I don't feel like that this article is real. I don't think that the gay Palestinian was really beheaded. This was her reaction. She was Georgian, from the Republic of Georgia in South Caucasus. And these people, they exist, they live next to us. I created a special term for people like that, to be honest. I think there are Homo sapiens, the thinking men, and we are a subtype. Actually, we are called Homo sapiens sapiens. Two sapienses, because our brain got much bigger. Yes, the neocortex is so big and so powerful. But apart from Homo sapiens sapiens, I think there is another type of human beings who do not choose to use their brains, who choose their faith, their feelings over mind and reason. So I call them Homo fidelis, believing people. So we have the thinking man and we have the believing man. I really think it's a special type of human being. They have the brains, but they don't choose their brains over their emotions. That's a very complex and interesting topic on its own, so we could maybe discuss it later. Nice listening to. I've subscribed. Oh, thank you so much, Cam. I appreciate that. Thank you for your comments and thank you for your like. That helps the channel a lot. Okay, and hi TikTok, whoever is on TikTok, I encourage you to tap on the screen. We are reading Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. I'm just reading quotes from her because the copyright doesn't allow me to read the entire book, although I'd love to. Maybe I will ask permission from the publishers. So I'm just sharing some quotes from the book, okay? So people who are governed by belief and whim, as opposed to people who are governed by reason and facts and objective reality. Those two types of people exist, and all the time there is war between those two people, you know. All right, page 436. One declares so many things to be a crime that it becomes impossible for men to live without breaking laws. Who wants a nation of law abiding citizens? What's there in that for anyone? But just pass the kind of laws that can neither be observed nor enforced nor objectively interpreted, and you create a nation of lawbreakers, and then you cash in on guilt. Now that's the system, Mr. Reardon. That's the game. And once you understand it, you'll be much easier to deal with. So this is Dr. Ferris, one of those modern, practical, in parentheses, types of people, collectivists. And yeah, this is their objective. And laws can be on purpose. Some laws are made in a very subjective way. They are left to the interpretation of the judge. And other laws, like if you want law to work properly, you would strive to make subjective type of laws. Again, it's very complex, I understand, and we could, go deeper. However, in some societies, whenever you have people who want to usurp the power and remain in power for decades, they make subjective laws and pass that kind of legislation on purpose, so that judges that serve them could interpret the laws the way they want to. Sometimes it's done because of lack of experience, and sometimes it can be tricky. Here's an example from Armenia again, my home country. I think it was in 2019 or 2020 when we had our first ever law against animal violence passed. And the law was saying that anyone shall be held accountable if they killed an animal in a brutal way. Then there was this court case of a man who shot a dog, a stray dog. And they were judging him, but the judge, who was serving the old regime, by the way, she argued that shooting an animal is not a violent way of killing it. And she justified the person. Although the dog was not threatening him, and it was, I think most probably that man killed more than one animal, although I'm not sure. I don't know, the materials of the case. But we have people like that, yeah, who enjoy that. It's like a type of sports for them. So sometimes judges too can be corrupt, they can have their own interest, and they can scrutinize law. They can try to interpret everything in their own way. On some level, it can be even healthy, like when you have a piece of software and you hire hackers and tell them to break that software to learn the weaknesses and make it better. So sometimes having that kind of, a judge could be useful. But then, you have to question very basic things. What is violence? Is shooting an animal violent or not? And then you have to deal with very fundamental premises and concepts, and evaluate or re-evaluate a lot of ideas, which, who knows, maybe also good for the system overall. Okay, let me see if I can join someone interesting on TikTok. I just don't know if these people would be interested in philosophy. That's my concern. But okay, let's try this Jakey person. Mm, no. Okay, I think I'll try later. So Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged. Okay, we continue discovering her philosophy. Page 462. Okay. Uh, Henry Reardon. So this is a rich industrialist. He's an honest, decent, rational guy. Okay, and it's at their home. You haven't touched your wine, said his mother, looking at him. What I think is you ought to drink a toast in gratitude to the people of this country who have given you so much. Henry is not in the mood for it, mother, said Lillian. I'm afraid Thanksgiving is a holiday only for those who have a clear conscience. She raised her wine glass, but stopped it halfway to her lips and asked, You're not going to make some sort of stand at your trial tomorrow, are you, Henry? And then they speak of the trial, which will follow soon. But I decided to quote this passage um, because of the following. His mother, she's a collectivist, and she says, I think you ought to drink a toast in gratitude to the people of this country who have given you so much. So Henry Reardon had a rough childhood. He was very poor, and he created his wealth on his own through hard work. And he had to overcome many obstacles. And a lot of collectivists and people of emotion, people of the heart, think that rich people either rob others or cheat. They don't believe that a rich person can create their wealth through honest labor, through reason, through invention, in free market capitalism. And the toast is funny, like his mother refuses to acknowledge that Henry Reardon is a creator who created his wealth. He created and accumulated his wealth through his own productive work. And productive work is an important concept in the philosophy of objectivism. So it's kind of funny how collectivists play that people card. Like people create everything. Sometimes these leftist collectivists claim that inventions and wealth, everything is created by the people. No, nothing is created by the individual. They claim that Da Vinci, it's actually Da Vinci's multiple students who drew the stuff. It's actually Zuckerberg's workers who created Facebook. It's actually Edison's, crew who created the light bulb. They just hate individualism, and they don't want to acknowledge the individual effort. They speak of the masses, faceless, nameless masses. I was watching a documentary on capitalism, and even in that documentary, someone, a professor, I think, said that capitalism was not invented by Smith. It was invented by many nameless traders in medieval Europe who were trading. That's very stupid. That's very dishonest. When you have specific individuals coming up with concepts, naming things or creating things, it's just dishonest to try to ascribe what these people achieve to nameless and faceless masses. That's very dishonest, All right. Next, page 464. I think you should abandon the illusion of your own perfection, which you know full well to be an illusion. I think you should learn to get along with other people. The day of the hero is past. This is the day of humanity, in a much deeper sense than you imagine. Human beings are no longer expected to be saints, nor to be punished for their sins. Nobody is right or wrong. We're all in it together. We're all human, and the human is the imperfect. This is Lillian speaking, his wife. And when I was reading these lines, it made me think of the Democrats, to be honest, and all the leftists, a lot of different types of leftists. When they say that if you steal under $1,000 and it's kind of very mild, let's not punish people for that. Or when they justify when a homeless person assaults somebody on the bus or on the street, saying that, oh, that poor person, he was forced to do that, he was pushed into that, etc. It's this type of ideology, the ideology of boundless, not even compassion, there is another word I'm searching, compassion, mercy, I think that's the word, of boundless absolute mercy, including mercy for criminals, mercy for destroyers, mercy for parasites, mercy for murderers, mercy for people like Putin or people who destroy, attack, kill, etc. That's a very disgusting, very ugly type of philosophy. And this concept of absolute mercy existed. Historically, it existed in religions, namely in Christianity. But then through Karl Marx, it was de-religionized and it was politicized. And from the political right, it was transferred or introduced into the political left as well. And today we have the political left who is in solidarity with the terrorists of Hamas, who is forgiving robbers, murderers, etc., telling that everybody deserves a second, third, and fifth, and sixth chance. So it's a type of mercy that destroys everything, including justice. So instead of judging the criminals, a lot of politicians and a lot of collectivists, both right-wing collectivists and left-wing collectivists, they say that we need to forgive. We are all brethren, yeah, brothers and sisters. We need to be in harmony together. In other words, the executioner and the victim need to be in harmony together. And this was a very Christian concept. In the New Testament, there was a line which said something like, in Christ you are all equal. It makes no difference whether you're a Gentile, like a pagan, or a Jew, a woman, or a man, a Greek, or someone else. We're all equal in Christ. And then the same concept was introduced in the political left under Marx, or under socialism, under communism, under Marxism. We're all equal. We're all human beings. Yeah. So it's the same promise of faceless, nameless, total equalization. But it's not only religious, now it's also political. And Lillian here, she's the ambassador of that philosophy, actually. The day of the hero is past. This is the day of humanity in a much deeper sense than you imagine. Yes, see, when we see Trump applauding Putin, applauding a war criminal, that's, you know, one expression of that type of mercy. And when we see democratic pro-Palestinian folks supporting Hamas, supporting terrorists. That's another type, expression of that uh, irrational and totally destructive mercy. Mercy for murderers, mercy for everyone. That's a very sad and scary thing, actually. In their ideology, it is presented as something beautiful, like the lion and the sheep will live in harmony together. It makes me think of those Jehovah's Witnesses imagery. And now it's not only in religion, it's also in politics, in the society, in philosophy. And it's just ugly. It's just very ugly, very wrong. Like, you should not expect the person who was robbed and their robber to live in harmony without any justice, you know? Okay. So, yeah, now I think I'll try again. Let's see if we can find someone interesting on TikTok and have a conversation around philosophy, objectivism. Sad that YouTube doesn't have that function. So, guys on YouTube, maybe you could find me on TikTok as well. And we could try that. Hi there. Hi, Mr. Nobody. How are you, sir?
I'm pretty decent. How are you, sir?
Me too, thank you. My life is about philosophy. I was reading quotes from Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. Do you know her?
I do not know. Can you enlighten me on her
Okay, yeah, she's.
philosophy?
Yeah, do you like that topic, philosophy? Would you like a conversation?
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Let's go Plato, fucking Socrates, fucking Marcus Aurelius. Let's go, big dog.
All right. So yeah, her philosophy is actually Aristotelian. She's a big fan of Aristotle, and she had a very interesting, yeah,
Okay.
biography.
She married somebody?
Well, she was married. Yeah. So she was born in Tsarist Russia before the
Okay.
USSR was conceived, and then she managed to leave the USSR under Stalin and immigrate into the US. And here, from nothing, from zero, she created her own, like, philosophy, her own name, her own mini empire. So she realized that American dream, you know?
So, if she did this when Stalin was in charge in Russia, so
Yeah.
it's like New Age philosophy. It's not Aristotle. It's not nothing in the old thing. This is somewhat new kind of
Well,
thing.
her philosophy is new, but I'm not sure you'd call it New Age. So her philosophy is about reason. So it's about individualism. Like, she knew what socialism was. So she was very against any form of collectivism, right wing collectivism, left wing collectivism. She said the individual needs to be free, and she said,
Absolutely, that's great. I love that. I love that. Yeah,
yeah,
generalizing any people and putting them in a category in a broad spectrum just because they fit fucking two or three things are
yeah.
terrible. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So I love her philosophy for that. It's reason, individualism, free market capitalism, because she saw the destruction that was brought by communism, socialism, and collectivism overall, you know?
Absolutely, I love that. Absolutely love that.
Yeah. So she was kind of quite American, we could say, you know?
American, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, man. Assholes and elbows. That's what Americans are about.
Yeah.
Where are
Yeah.
you from, if you don't mind me asking?
No, sure. I'm from Armenia, but now I live in California.
So you're from Armenia, which was in, Eastern Europe?
Almost. It's like South Caucasus. If you know where Turkey is, it's east of Turkey, between Turkey
Okay.
and Iran, kind of.
You're right on that borderline, right there between Eastern Europe. Yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. And like that's a very, I don't know. In my experience, that's a very, I don't know. It's a difficult area. It's such
Yeah.
a difficult area.
Yeah, it is.
And like, I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I don't mean that in a bad way at all.
Yeah.
But it's hard to be an individualism. It's
Yeah.
hard to be an individual. It's hard to like I don't know. Like I hate getting into politics, but
Yeah.
like the everything. If you think a Republican, it's to pull yourself up by the fucking bootstraps and make it happen.
Yeah.
In the area that he's talking from, if y'all just from America, that is fucking next to damn near impossible.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not just Armenia and Turkey and any of them places around there. That is
Yeah.
like next to fucking impossible. You
Yeah.
are so isolated. You're so just like up in the sticks we listen to.
Yeah.
Like them motherfuckers know about the sticks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know about that stick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Like there is a lot of very conservative and oppressive type of religiosity and politics. Like if you're not with the majority, then you're ostracized, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of that here. Absolutely, Shug. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Real quick, Gloria said the Kardashians are part of America.
Yeah.
Just saying, Hitler was part of Germany. Germany is still an amazing fucking country.
Well, yeah. Now Germany has a lot of challenges, but overall,
We
like,
all do.
yeah,
What country does not?
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
You love the Kardashians, okay? And like, you probably don't understand what we're talking about then. I'm so sorry. I'm just saying, man.
Yeah.
I'm not Aristotle. I'm not. What's her name?
Ayn Rand.
I know a little bit about life. I've been through a little bit of shit. I've known of other parts of the world and whatnot and everything. But
Yeah.
I'll call a spade if I see it.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what philosophy that is, but
Well, you know.
yeah, especially on social media. You want to be weird, I will be weirder. I guarantee it. I can be intellectual and I will have a good conversation and hopefully enlighten both of us and make both of us a little more, a little more wiser for the days, because that's what we're all looking for, man. We all need to learn a little bit of something. We all got to keep building every day to learn and understand not just our point of views, from other people's point of views, not even in America, but all across the world.
Yeah.
Because as the world we live in, that is so valuable to do that. It truly fucking is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
like, I'm a very outspoken individual, so to speak. You've noticed this already, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate that. I truly am. I will speak my truth. I will speak my perspective. I will speak how I feel about things. But I also am humble enough to listen to others.
Well, that's a very honest and productive stance, you know?
It really is, man. I know what I've lived.
Yeah.
I don't know what you lived.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do not know how you have lived your life. I don't know what you've read. I don't know what you've learned.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what I've learned. You don't know what I've been through. You what anything like that. We just meet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I'm trying to meet. So like, I don't know if y'all know the old country song, "Meet Someone in the Middle." More than likely, we can meet somebody in the middle.
Yeah.
We can have a pretty decent conversation.
Yeah.
Hopefully, both of us come out the other end a little better than we was before.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, when you said I'm calling the spade a spade when I see one, that's kind of important also in her philosophy. Like, actually, in a formal logic, there's a very interesting thing. Like, it's the four laws of logic. Like, if you want to be honest with yourself, you know? Yeah, do you want to stop me?
Real quick?
Yeah?
Can you tell us the four laws of logic real quick?
Okay, yeah. So the first one is exactly about calling a spade a spade. So it's the law of identity. It says that whatever exists exists, and it should be something. Like a bottle is a bottle, you know, and yes, you have to admit it. That's the first law of logic. Yes, yes.
It's not an opinion. It's not nothing. It's a fact.
It's a fact.
Facts are facts.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So that's the first law of logic, the law of identity. The second one is the law of what was it called in English? Let me just recall. The law of non-contradiction. So the informal language would say A cannot be non-A, meaning this bottle cannot be something else in the same universe at the same time. This bottle cannot be a smartphone. It's a bottle and that's it. You know?
So the fact of what it is
Yeah.
purely exists all in itself itself, and you cannot argue it.
Yes.
You cannot do anything about it.
Yes.
Whatever is factual and actual facts, because
Yes.
they're an entity of our universe,
Yes.
exists whether we like it or not.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Let's go.
So
Fuck yeah, I
that's,
love it.
yeah, that's the
Fucking love
second
it.
law, the law of non-contradiction. The third one is the law of the excluded middle. And by the way, a lot of cheaters and manipulators and liars, religious and political leaders, they hate these laws, and they especially hate the third law of logic, which
Okay.
it says it cannot be so that A is A and A is non-A at the same time. So some religious and political folks could say, well, both sides are right. This is a bottle, but this is also a smartphone. Let's agree, on multiple perspectives. And
Okay.
from the
In my world,
yeah,
can I say it in my world? What
yeah,
I would call that?
yeah,
In my world, I would call that in facts that are infused with opinions.
mm-hmm,
You infuse a fact with an opinion
yeah,
until you are comfortable in being able to process it and
yeah,
accept it.
yeah,
And that's how I would explain that. If I were like being a philosophy fucking thing or whatever, you know what I mean? A
yeah,
philosophy fucking major
yeah.
or whatever. That is what I would. That's how I would explain that to anybody that was listening to me. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
kind of correct, but that law of logic says if you want to really understand reality, as opposed to interpret it the way you feel about it, you should try to differentiate and leave aside your own opinions or the opinions of the others. Like you need to, go deep, perceive things directly, and go through facts as much as you can, as opposed to try to kind of destroy or dilute facts with opinions. Yeah,
Yes, absolutely agree with that 100%. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what's the fourth one then?
Well, the fourth one was, let me remember the name if I can. It was about not substantial, but the law of sufficient reason. Yes, the law of sufficient reason. It says you have to have enough data and enough context for whatever you're claiming. You know,
Yes.
and again,
You've had to study the body of matter that you're claiming that this to be the fact about before you can claim it's a fact.
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
honestly, before you can even claim an opinion on it,
Yeah.
you have to observe and understand it and
Yes.
process it and
Yes.
like that enough.
Yes.
And like that's the question though. With modern scholars, there's a question: what is enough?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is enough?
Yeah.
Where can you study it? Where can you get to where you are enough to be fucking understood and recognized
Mm-hmm.
by the scholastic or scholar fucking community?
Yeah.
So where you can
Yeah.
actually have your shit published
Yeah.
and show your shit to the masses.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question as well. Sometimes, collectivism is one ugly thing about collectivism. They don't care about your own self, your own opinion. Individuals don't matter. And if you're speaking of collectivist type of academia, they will not want to even hear your opinion or your conclusion. They'd be like, okay, speak through the voices of other scholars and researchers. Kind of destroy or hide yourself behind others, and I think
Absolutely.
that's too much. That's even
Well, I
unproductive.
think that's safe. I think that if you read somebody, you understand somebody, you you use that in your life. You fucking put that in your life, and it works for you.
Mm-hmm.
So in a lot of situations, they're not really using someone else's work,
Yeah.
but they've learned someone else's work that they put in practice for themselves, and they live by that.
Yeah.
And like that's the balance for me. Like not just because I read something, because I actually implemented it in my life, and like I used it to make myself and my people around me better.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can speak on that, whether I wrote it or not.
No, that I can agree with that. Like reading and discovering and learning and educating yourself, that's important, that's beautiful. What I'm saying is you need to always in her philosophy, there's a very interesting idea. She says the only absolute is reason. meaning you have to use your own reason at all times. You should not turn off your own reason and say, well, okay, this guy is an authority on the matter, then I'll take his opinion, or whatever the guy said, you know?
Right, okay. I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that, especially you're like you live in America right now, so you understand the culture in America. So
yeah,
like celebrities, this
yeah,
is kind of what he's saying. Just to dumb it down for myself, I think, and I'm going to ask him and make sure I'm okay. We're using a little bit of an analogy, but like celebrities,
yeah,
they did good in a movie or a sport or whatever, and we want to listen to them about politics,
yeah,
logic, reason, and everything. And like, I think what he's kind of saying is they should not be listened to on them. You can listen to them on making a good movie or being good at the sport that they excelled in or
mm-hmm,
whatever.
yeah.
But politics, reason, logic, how you should live your life, maybe
Yeah.
they're not the authority on that. Am I
Yeah.
correct by saying that?
Yeah, like you should always improve your own analytical and thinking skills, and you should be your own authority. It's okay to read, to listen to stuff. That's good, yeah. But you should
Yes.
not hand your own mental and analytical abilities to someone else. You know, no
Okay.
authority. Yeah,
And see, for me, what I would say with that is do not give up your own identity
yeah,
to live under someone else's identity.
yeah. Definitely, definitely.
You can read it, you can process it, you can use it,
Yeah,
and you can say where you learned it from. That's
sure,
fucking totally
sure.
respectful and understandable.
Yeah, yeah,
But
definitely,
use
definitely.
it and learn it and understand it and fucking yeah, man, be yourself and
Yeah.
learn from others. And that's what that's that journey. You
Mm-hmm.
ever heard the old American saying that may happen in other countries too? It's not about the journey. It's about the journey, not the destination.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I
Okay,
like that.
that's the journey they're talking about.
Yeah,
It's learning from other people, whether they're a philosopher, whether your grandpa, your daddy, or your mama,
yeah,
or your sister, or your brother, or your uncle, or whatever that is.
yeah.
Learning from them, making your identity out of
Mm-hmm.
what you choose to do it, and you
Yeah,
fucking get after it. That is
yeah.
what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. I'm
Let's
excited. I'm glad
go.
I met you tonight. I'm glad I met you tonight.
Yeah,
This
thank
is
you,
a good time.
sir.
This is why I like. This is why I accept just random things
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
Because every now and again, all the bullshit and all the nonsense on TikTok, you
yeah,
actually meet someone that's just trying to be a decent guy
yeah,
and
yeah,
spread his
yeah,
truth and
yeah,
like just try to be a beacon, a little bit of light in this
yeah.
fucking world of darkness.
Exactly, exactly. A big high
Oh,
five
I
to
love it,
that.
man. High five to you, yes sir, man.
Yeah.
Applause to you. If
Thank
anybody
you.
wants to give him a follow, let him give it to him. I followed you. Hope you followed me back.
Yes, yes, I did. I followed you
You
back.
have a
So
blessed night. Thank
yeah.
you so much, man.
Thank
You
you,
were so
sir.
enlightening and liberating for me, and I do appreciate that.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
for
Thank
just
you. I appreciate
thank
you
you
as
for
well.
being you and
Yeah.
doing that. Like God bless for real.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
It was so good to actually see that tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. My
Yes,
last
sir. You are a
live
blessed
with
one. Thank you.
someone else was pretty bad, so I'm very happy to meet someone who's decent, who's open, like, we can just talk as decent human beings. It's so precious, Oh, something happened to the connection, probably. But okay, see you next time. Yeah, it was nice. It was very positive. Yeah, my last guy on TikTok. Oof. The previous one was someone crazy, someone like illiterate, very superficial. So I'm happy. Yeah, this was interesting, and thank you to others who followed me. Uji, thank you, and Mama Bear. Hi, Mama Bear, and thank you for the follow. And hi, Witching Well. All right, so that is it for today, guys. Again, I was reading Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. I was reading quotes from her novel. It's a best-selling novel. It's around for decades, and the Library of the Congress made a survey years ago, maybe in early 2000s, and they asked more than 1,000 readers which book was the most influential in your life. Number one was the Bible. Number two was this book here, Atlas Shrugged. Okay, it can be complex. Look at this. It's like the Bible, huge, right? But it can be complex. It can be hard at times. This is why I'm doing this live. This is why I'm quoting and then explaining those concepts. And there she is, a very smart, intelligent, and brave and decent lady with integrity and ambition. Okay, so see you next time. Likes, comments, and shares are very welcome. Gifts are also welcome on TikTok, on YouTube. If you send me gifts and stuff, I'll be happy. I'm building a community of new intellectuals. Look at the name of the channel. Okay, so stick around, interact, because my objective is to create, to unite people who value reason, freedom, creativity, joy. You know, who want to live in an atmosphere of liberty, freedom, creativity, as opposed to destruction, fear, crime, etc. So thank you very much to everyone, and I will see you guys soon, hopefully tomorrow.